All right, so today we're diving into the world of energy efficiency. It's a big deal for everyone, really, but especially for those of you prepping for the UPSC exams, with international relations as your focus.
Yeah, energy's a hot topic globally, no doubt. And India's been doing some really interesting things like the UJALA scheme and the Street Lighting National Program, or SLNP.
Right, those are the stars of the show today. UJALA is actually celebrating its 10th anniversary, can you believe it? 10 years of making India brighter and greener.
It's amazing how quickly time flies. But it's not just about lights, right? Think about the impact on energy consumption, costs, and even India's climate goals.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we get into all the details, let's rewind a bit. Imagine it's 2014. What's the lighting situation in most Indian homes like?
Well, you're probably flipping a switch to turn on a CFL or a tube light. Those were the standard back then. LEDs barely existed, like 0.4% of the market.
Wow. And I remember reading that lighting was a huge energy drain back then.
Oh, absolutely. It was eating up something like 18 to 27% of all residential electricity. Think about that. Nearly a quarter of your electricity bill was just for lighting.
Makes you realize how much we were wasting, doesn't it? So enter UJALA, our energy-saving superhero.
Exactly. Unnat Jyoti by Affordable LEDs for All. Launched in January 2015, this was a massive collaboration. The government, power companies, all working towards one goal: replacing 77 core traditional bulbs with LEDs.
77 crore. That's, what, almost every household in India?
Pretty much. And they didn't stop there. They also aimed to upgrade a whopping 3.5 core streetlights across the country. Ambitious, to say the least.
It's clear they saw the potential, right? But what's so special about LEDs? Why all the fuss?
Well, for starters, they're insanely energy efficient. I mean, we're talking up to 90% energy savings compared to those old incandescent bulbs.
90%. Help me visualize that. What does that actually mean for, say, the average person?
Okay, picture this. One LED can do the job of 25 incandescent bulbs. It's like having a lighting superhero, seriously. They use 75% less energy and they last 25 times longer.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. So not only are you saving energy, you're saving money in the long run, too.
You got it. But let's be honest, LEDs weren't exactly cheap back then. How could people afford to make the switch?
Good point. That must have been a major hurdle for the program.
It was, but UJALA had a clever trick up its sleeve: bulk buying. Basically, ESL, the Energy Efficiency Services Limited, bought LEDs in huge quantities.
Smart move. Buy in bulk, get a better price. Simple but effective.
Exactly. And they used an open bidding process to ensure they got the best deals. They partnered with state governments to handle the distribution.
Makes sense. You need a smooth system to get those bulbs to every corner of the country.
Absolutely. And speaking of reaching every corner, remember that target of 77 core bulbs? Well, they pretty much hit it. India now saves a mind-boggling 47,883 million kilowatt hours of energy every year thanks to UJALA.
I'm going to need a calculator for that one.
Think of it this way. That's enough energy to power a whole country. For those prepping for UPSC, this is the kind of impact you need to know about.
It's not just a bright idea. It's a brilliantly executed plan.
And it gets better. UJALA has also saved consumers a massive amount of money, roughly Rs 19,153 crore annually.
Wow. So we're talking about saving energy, saving money. What about the planet?
UAE's got that covered too. By switching to LEDs, India is preventing a huge amount of CO2 from entering the atmosphere each year, about 3.88 million tons.
Hold on, let me get this straight. Millions of tons of CO2 avoided. That's like taking millions of cars off the road.
It really highlights the impact these kinds of initiatives can have. And there's another often overlooked benefit: reducing peak electricity demand, those annoying power cuts, especially during the summer.
Oh, I know them well.
Well, UJALA is helping prevent those by keeping the grid stable.
So more reliable electricity for everyone. I like it. But what about rural communities? Did UJALA reach those who needed it most?
Absolutely. That's where UJALA steps in. Launched in 2021, it's all about bringing affordable LEDs to rural households.
Okay, fill me in on that one. What makes UJALA special?
Well, for one, they're offering LEDs at an incredibly low price. Just Rs 10 each. Think about it, that's less than a cup of chai.
That's an amazing deal. So, UJALA is clearly changing how we light up our homes. But what about our streets? That's where SLNP comes in.
Right, got it. The Street Lighting National Program is focused on upgrading streetlights all across India, replacing those old, inefficient ones with LEDs.
Brighter streets, safer streets makes sense. But how did they manage to upgrade all those streetlights? That must have been a massive project.
It was. And ESL came up with a pretty innovative model. They cover the initial costs of installing the new LED streetlights, and then they recover that investment through payments from the municipalities over time.
So it's like a pay-as-you-go system for streetlights.
Precisely. And to make sure everyone's happy, ESL guarantees 95% uptime for those LED streetlights. So reliable lighting, lower maintenance costs, a win-win for everyone.
We've talked a lot about LEDs, but I'm curious about CFLs. How do they fit into the picture?
That's an important distinction, especially if you're gearing up for those UPSC exams. It's good to have a solid understanding of the different lighting options. So let's break it down.
Okay, I'm ready for a lighting technology showdown. Lay it on me.
We'll start with the old-timers. The incandescent bulbs. You know, the ones that get super hot because they work by heating a filament until it glows.
Yeah, I remember those. Touching one was like playing a game of hot potato.
Right. Now, CFLs, or compact fluorescent lamps, were supposed to be the energy-efficient alternative. And they do use less energy than those old bulbs, and they last longer. But here's the thing, they contain a tiny bit of mercury.
Oh, right. That's not good if they break.
Exactly. So they were a step in the right direction, but not the ultimate solution. And that's where LEDs come in. No harmful substances, incredibly durable, and they just last and last. And of course, their energy efficiency is unmatched.
All right, I'm sold. LEDs are the clear winners. But tell me more about the driving force behind all of this. Who is ESL, and what role do they play in India's energy efficiency journey?
ESL, or Energy Efficiency Services Limited, is what's called a super energy service company, or ESCO. They're like the energy-saving experts, working across all sorts of sectors.
I like that, the energy-saving experts. So what do they actually do?
Their mission is to promote and implement energy-saving solutions. From lighting to electric vehicles, they're all about pushing India towards a greener future.
They're like the all-star team of energy efficiency.
Exactly. And they've got the stats to prove it. They've built the world's largest energy efficiency portfolio, saving billions of kilowatt hours of energy each year and reducing carbon emissions by millions of tons.
Those are some serious achievements.
Yeah.
It's clear ESL is making a big impact.
They are, but it's important to remember that UJALA and SLNP are just two pieces of the puzzle. India has been doing a lot to boost energy efficiency.
Like what? I'm curious to hear more examples.
Well, there's the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, or BEE, which sets standards for appliances to help consumers make informed decisions. Then there's the Energy Conservation Act, which lays the legal groundwork for promoting energy efficiency. And of course, there are various national missions focused on renewable energy and conservation.
So it's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
The government, organizations like EES, and even individuals are all playing a part.
That's the key. It's a collective effort. And it seems like India is truly committed to becoming a leader in the global energy efficiency movement.
Absolutely. UJLA and SLNP are prime examples of what can happen when innovation, determination, and sustainability come together. And, these initiatives are not just transforming India, they're inspiring the world.
It's a story of leadership, it's a story of innovation, and it's a story of commitment to a better future. Speaking of a brighter future, it's great to be back. We've been digging into some pretty amazing energy efficiency initiatives in India. UJLA and SLNP are really making a difference. It's inspiring to see, no doubt. But the journey doesn't stop there. There's always more to explore, new challenges to tackle, and exciting opportunities on the horizon.
Exactly. So what's next for India's energy efficiency journey? What trends are emerging, and what hurdles still need to be overcome?
Well, one area that's really taking off is smart technology. Think smart grids, smart meters, even intelligent building automation systems.
Okay, those sound pretty futuristic. What makes these technologies so smart?
Imagine a power grid that can basically think for itself, monitoring and controlling energy flow in real time, responding to changes instantly. That's a smart grid. It helps balance the load, reduces waste, and makes the entire system more reliable.
So it's like having a brain for your energy system, making sure everything is running smoothly.
Exactly. And smart meters play a big role in that. They give you real-time data on your energy use so you can actually see how much you're using and make adjustments.
That makes so much sense. Instead of just getting a bill at the end of the month and wondering where all the energy went, you can actually track your usage and make changes to your habits.
Right. And for anyone studying for the UPSC, smart grids are definitely something to pay attention to. They're a key part of sustainable development and infrastructure modernization.
So smart tech seems like a win-win.
Yeah.
What are the challenges in rolling it out on a larger scale?
Well, the initial investment can be pretty steep. Upgrading those old power grids, installing smart meters in millions of homes, integrating all these systems, it takes a lot of
And
resources.
it's not just about the money, right? There are technical challenges too, like making sure all these systems can actually talk to each other.
Exactly. Interoperability is a huge issue. You need to make sure all the different devices and data platforms can communicate effectively. Otherwise, you end up with a fragmented system that can't really achieve its full potential.
It's like having a team of experts working on a project, but they're all speaking different languages.
Mhm.
You need a common platform to make it work.
That's a great analogy. And let's not forget about cybersecurity. As we connect more and more devices to the internet, we need to make sure our energy infrastructure is protected from cyber attacks.
Right, you don't want hackers messing with the power grid. So we've talked about tech. What about the role of individuals? What can we do to help India reach its energy efficiency goals?
That's a crucial part of the equation. Ultimately, it's a collective effort. And those everyday choices we make really do add up. Things like switching to LEDs, using energy efficient appliances, just being more mindful of our energy use.
It's about those small changes, those everyday habits that can make a big difference.
Exactly. And consumer demand has a lot of power. When people actively seek out energy efficient products, businesses pay attention.
So it's about being conscious consumers, making informed choices, and sending a message that we care about sustainability.
Absolutely. And staying informed about energy efficiency initiatives and policies is important too. The more we know, the better we can advocate for change.
Okay, so we've covered tech and individual action. Let's zoom out a bit. How do these energy efficiency initiatives fit into India's overall sustainable development goals?
That's a key question, especially for anyone prepping for the UPSC. India is committed to those UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. Things like affordable and clean energy, climate action, sustainable cities, and communities.
So initiatives like UJALA and SLNP are directly contributing to those goals by reducing energy consumption and emissions.
Exactly. By boosting energy efficiency, India is lessening its dependence on fossil fuels, tackling climate change, and creating a more sustainable future. And it's not just environmental, it's economic too. Lower energy costs, more jobs, greater energy security.
It's a win-win across the board. I'm also curious about the impact of all this on the global stage. How is India's leadership in energy efficiency influencing other countries?
That's a great point. It really highlights India's growing role in addressing climate change. Their success with UJALA and SLNP has inspired others, especially developing nations, to think about similar approaches.
So India is setting an example, showing the world what's possible when innovation and sustainability go hand in hand.
Exactly. And it's not just about sharing ideas. India is actively involved in international discussions, advocating for stronger climate action and working with other countries to tackle the global energy challenge.
It's inspiring to see India taking such a proactive role in shaping a more sustainable future for everyone.
It is. And this journey toward a greener, more energy efficient world is far from over.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into India's energy efficiency journey. It's been a fascinating look at how India is tackling this global challenge.
It really has. From those impressive initiatives like UJALA and SLNP to the bigger policy picture, India is taking a comprehensive approach to building a more sustainable future.
Absolutely. But we're not done yet. We're about to step into the future of energy efficiency, a future full of possibilities and exciting innovations.
Get ready for some truly game-changing technologies that could completely transform the energy landscape.
All right, I'm all ears. What technological wonders await us in this energy-efficient future?
Well, let's start with a big one. Artificial intelligence, or AI. Imagine algorithms that can analyze energy use, predict those demand spikes, and even optimize energy distribution in real time.
AI managing our energy. That sounds straight out of science fiction. But I'm intrigued. How would that actually work?
Think of a smart grid, but supercharged with AI. It's like having a brain for your energy system, constantly learning and adapting. AI can help balance supply and demand, cut down on waste, and make the entire grid more resilient.
So it's like having an intelligent assistant for our energy systems, making sure everything runs smoothly and efficiently.
That's a great way to put it, and that's just one application. AI is also being used to develop new energy storage solutions, like advanced batteries and thermal energy storage systems.
Energy storage is a big deal, right?
Mhm.
Especially with the rise of renewable energy. But can you explain the connection for those who might not be familiar?
Of course. Renewables like solar and wind are fantastic, but they're not always consistent. The sun isn't always shining, and the wind isn't always blowing.
Right. So we need a way to store that energy for when we need it, even when the sun's gone down and the wind's died down.
Exactly. Energy storage is like a giant battery backup. It helps smooth out those fluctuations and ensures a steady energy supply. And with all the advancements in battery tech, these solutions are becoming more efficient and more affordable.
It's like having a safety net for the power grid, ensuring stability and allowing us to tap into the full potential of renewable energy.
Precisely. Now, speaking of cutting-edge tech, there's another innovation that's making waves in the energy sector: blockchain.
Blockchain. I know it's the tech behind cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but how does it apply to energy efficiency?
It might seem like an odd pairing at first, but blockchain could revolutionize how we buy, sell, and manage energy.
I'm all ears. How so?
Picture a peer-to-peer energy trading platform powered by blockchain. It would allow people to buy and sell their excess renewable energy directly to each other, creating a more decentralized and resilient energy system.
So instead of relying only on big power companies, people could become their own energy producers and consumers, trading energy just like they trade stocks. That's a fascinating concept.
It is, and blockchain also brings transparency and accountability to energy transactions. It makes it much easier to track energy use and verify the source of renewable energy.
So it's like a digital record keeper, ensuring everything is fair and above board.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the bigger picture. What role do government policies play in shaping this energy-efficient future?
Policies and regulations are crucial. They provide the framework for innovation and drive adoption, and the Indian government has implemented some really effective programs.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. One example is the Perform, Achieve, and Trade Scheme, or PTAE. It sets energy reduction targets for those energy-intensive industries and allows them to trade energy-saving certificates.
So it's like a reward system for companies that exceed their energy efficiency goals, encouraging them to push the boundaries even further.
Exactly. And the government also offers incentives for individuals to adopt energy-efficient technologies. Things like subsidies for LEDs and tax breaks for electric vehicles.
It sounds like a multi-pronged approach, encouraging both industries and individuals to embrace a more sustainable lifestyle. But what about research and development? What exciting innovations are brewing in India's labs and universities?
Research and development are essential for driving progress. And Indian scientists and engineers are at the forefront of some incredible breakthroughs, things like next-generation solar cells that are even more efficient and affordable.
It's inspiring to think about the potential that's waiting to be unlocked.
It is. And while we focus a lot on technology, it's important to remember that energy efficiency is not just about gadgets and gizmos. It's about changing behaviors and being more mindful of how we use energy.
Right. It's those everyday things like turning off lights when we leave a room, using public transport, and choosing energy-efficient appliances. Those small actions, when we all do them, they really add up.
Absolutely. Education and awareness are key to driving those behavioral changes. The more people understand the importance of energy efficiency, the more likely they are to embrace a sustainable lifestyle.
So it's a combination of technological innovation, smart policies, individual action, and a shared commitment to a more sustainable future.
That's the perfect way to put it. And India is not on this journey alone. Their leadership in energy efficiency is inspiring other countries to step up and take action, creating a ripple effect of positive change across the globe.
It's remarkable to see India leading the way towards a brighter, greener, and more sustainable future.
And as we wrap up our deep dive, we encourage you to stay curious, stay informed, and keep the conversation about energy efficiency going.
This is a journey we're all on together, and every step towards a more sustainable future matters. And if you've enjoyed our exploration of India's energy efficiency journey, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.